On this episode, we give you a front, back, and side-to-side view of our 39 Ford pickup as we prepare it to drive 1,600 miles to the Bonneville Salt Flats. Let's go. 8 weeks ago, we picked up this rusty and crusty 39 Ford pickup, and now I present to you the finished truck. Dun, dun, dun. Here she be, the absolute funkiest grill shell that Ford pickup ever made. I can't tell you that I love it, but I can't tell you that I hate it. It's weird. 38 and 39 had this oval grill, and we're not going to change it, I'll tell you that much. So under the hood, we opted to put in a small block 283 Chevrolet with an automatic turbo 350 behind it. This is a tried and true running gear, and this sucker will last forever. I am partial to small block Chevrolets, as probably 75% of hot rodders are, for good reason. We also, when we bought this truck, it had a Mustang 2 front suspension that came with it. It wasn't on, but it was there. So we welded in the cross member, boxed the frame, and that's what we're running. So the front clip is all original. We found a bumper and the bracketry, small block Chevrolet, automatic, all new wiring, Mustang 2 front end, timeless, bulletproof. This is a package that's been going on for 40 plus years in the hot rod industry. And although it's not groundbreaking new technology, it will last forever. Okay, the wheels and tires, front and rear, we'll go over those real quick. We are running the original 39 Ford wheels. I think these went from 37 to 39, maybe 36 to 39. And they are what we call the wide 5 Ford wheels. They have an artillery look to them. One of my favorite parts is the hubcap. And different years had different designations for emblems on the hubcap. That's really the only way to tell. We're running big and little tires on this thing. 550 16s in the front and 750 16s in the rear. Now, these are radial look-alike bias ply tires. They are made by a company called Auburn. They are very expensive. And the rear tire, even though it's a 750, it's 31 and a half inches tall. It's massive. So initially when I set out to build the truck, we weren't gonna put such a massive tire on there. But it is what it is, and I like the look. Bigs and littles, black, 39 Ford wheels. It hits home, tall skinnies. Okay, moving into the interior now. I don't know if it comes out on camera or not, but these trucks are tiny. Now, of course, like late 20s Model A's into the 30, 31, they were small. By the time you hit 32, everything got a little bit bigger. But even this being a 39, this is a very small truck on the inside. So getting 3 people in here, I don't know, maybe 2 adults, 1 child. We have an original bench seat, which we sourced and had reupholstered by our friends at New Line Upholstery. We also moved the seat forward 1 inch to give us a little bit more leg room or, support. This is the tried and true hot rod steering wheel. This is a 44 Deluxe wheel mounted to an original column. Now, if you've been watching the series on the ranch truck, this column, I wanted to use it because it is the original size and it's 1.5 inches diameter, and it works out perfectly. Moving into the gauges, this is a little bit more on the modern side for the dashboard, but I don't know, you can kind of bend your imagination and say that they're close to maybe a 40s era, probably closer to 50s, but they work, and they're from a company called New Vintage. All of these work great. We have a new wiring harness tucked up underneath the dash from American Auto Wire. We're running the headlights, the ignition switch, and on this side, the Auga horn, which is super cool. Again, automatic transmission, so we're running a low car shifter that kind of gives us the old 39 Ford gearbox standard transmission shifter look. Floorboards, check those out. We had to make all those. Of course, these original trucks had wooden floorboards, and so we just took 16 gauge steel, and bead rolled, and then made a cool little tunnel, and everything kind of fits up in here nicely. It's nice to not have a clutch pedal because you have a little more room. And then one of my favorite things is Speedway Motors out of Lincoln, Nebraska. They recast this steering column drop, and these are right out of the 50s. Although this one isn't cast, it's actually like from billet aluminum, and it's CNC machined. I can tell by the backside, but it's cool. It's identical to the one I have over there in a 33, which is an original from the 50s that was cast. So the interior is pretty bare bones. We leave in one day for Bonneville, and so the only thing we're doing in here is adding some Dynamat to the roof and to the floorboards and behind the seat, just to help with a little bit of the vibration and heat. But that's it. There's no stereo, there's no nothing. This is hardcore classic car / hot rod driving. You know, we're planning to run again 1,600 miles, so it's bare bones, and that's the way we like it. All right, moving into the bed. So again, going back to, I think, part 1 on the disassembly of this truck, this bed was absolutely destroyed. Now, Ethan did such a great job of cutting this thing out and salvaging the bed sides. And then our buddy Adam built a steel floor, and then we put a 3/4 inch slab of high-grade plywood in there, and we just stained it, and it looks perfect. It's heavy duty. We can actually use it. The bed is full depth, because this is, unbeknownst to a lot of you viewers, this is our new shop truck that's going to be used to haul parts to and from the powder coating shop or the auto parts shop. So we want to use this thing, and that's why we're not really concerned with the exterior, and we're just going to leave it as is. It's kind of funny because we do high-end paint work here, but our shop truck's going to look like an old ranch truck. So I'm super happy with the bed. The tailgate is all original, and we're going to leave it just as is. Rear bumper's all original. You can see the dual exhaust. We put dual exhaust on this truck with some 18-inch glass pack mufflers, little shorties, and it sounds super cool. When we fire it up, we'll give you guys that little rev on the engine. Underneath, on the suspension, the rear, this is a 1970 Ford Mustang rear axle. It's an 8-inch Ford differential. The width is 59.5. It's perfect for these trucks. We also used a kit from Speedway Motors for the rear suspension. Leaf springs, parallel, and that works great as well. It rides really well. It can handle a little bit more weight. We got some gas shocks in the back. So pretty straightforward rear suspension stuff, easy to set up. Of course, new drive shaft. I mean, everything on the running gear is brand new. So that's what's fun about this thing, is like, you know, how many trucks have you seen like this? Yeah, they're old and patinaed, and they just have kind of like junk running gear. But this thing is all brand new. So before we jump in and go for a ride, I do want to walk you guys around the truck and just point out some of the cool features that were put on by the old Rancher. So these reflectors, I really wanted to take them off. I was outvoted by the guys at the shop. They've been put on there. They're old trailer reflectors, and they're gonna stay. The taillights, they're old trailer taillights. I don't know, probably from the 60s or 70s. They say PMCO. They have a really cool aluminum mounting bracket that was made by the old Rancher. And the last time the truck was registered was in 1977. I don't really know why he has these straps put on, but the old time Rancher felt the need to put these on, and they're really cool. There's a brace underneath the fender that holds it in place, but he felt it was necessary to put those on, so we're leaving them, and they're pretty cool. There was a patch that was put on right here, and it looks like some old welding rod and a gas oxyacetylene welder put in a patch, and that's cool. We're gonna leave that as well. There's also a patch right here on the bedside, and this one happens to be riveted in place. So there's 8 rivets that hold this patch, and it looks like they salvaged it from another truck and just riveted the patch in place. So that's cool as well. That stays. Now, if you look closely, there was a logo on this door. And if you guys really want to get your detective work on, help us find what this logo said. We're going to zoom in. We'll show you both doors. It entirely matches both sides. So it almost has this like aircraft look right here. I don't know, fuselage and wings. There was lettering here and here. And all I can tell you is this came out of Sacramento surrounding area. So it had to be a ranch truck, and we want to figure out what that was. The other cool part is, check this out. There is a really cool sticker, NARC, Northern Auto Racing Club, and it's got this little quarter midget on there. And so, I don't know. And then there's this one too. It says, soft as a kiss. So you almost had like this was there was obviously a racer, right, that owned this truck. And then you had like the San Francisco hippie, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know if that gives us any clues. Maybe the license plate, last registered in 77, we can find out what the door logo was on the truck. Surprisingly, we were able to spray a little bit of PB blaster and get all the latches and hinges working real well. This window is all original, and it is destroyed. Look at that thing. We'll replace it when we get back from our road trip. But there's so many cool original parts. Of course, the mirror, and then the antenna. That was an original 39 Ford deal, and that's really cool. Moving forward, we have a neat script Ford logo there with 85 on it. And then probably one of my favorite parts on the truck is the way that the hood latches. It's part of the latch and the front hood bird, or the hood emblem, and that's super trick. The window on this truck does push forward about 15 degrees, and it gives you a little bit of ventilation. And then all these cabs came with a cowl vent as well. So there are some really cool little neat things about these trucks. Every year of these trucks has a different side grille, and I really like the 39, I think, the most. We did have to source another bumper, and that came in today. We threw that on. So just the walk around on this thing, it's really cool. A couple little dents. Oh, one more thing over here. It does have the original spare tire carrier. Haven't made any decisions on if we're gonna run a spare, but at least it's there, and it's cool, and it's the original green color. So let's get into the montage right now of the patina and the door logos. So one thing, when I ended up acquiring this truck and we had the Mustang 2 front suspension, it had a power rack and pinion, and I can't stand the Mustang 2s with the power rack. It's real darty, so we threw that away, and I bought a manual steering rack and pinion, and it feels so much better. It's way easy to turn with this 17-inch wheel, and it just feels good on the highway. We still have to align the steering wheel. But man, this little truck just runs so good. You know, the other thing I wanted to mention too is like, this is a small V8, right? It's just under 300 cubic inch. Don't put a 750 carburetor on it. It runs horribly. This is a 500 CFM. This is exactly what you need. It'll rev the engine. It's quick response. This is a small journal crank, and when you put a 500 on there, it's like bum bum. It hits right. So bigger is not always better with carburation. Yeah, it'll handle it at a high RPM, but for a daily driver and something that's peppy, 500 CFM on 300 cubic inch, 600 CFM on 350 cubic inch, okay. 600, but on these little small blocks, these really small early ones, 500 CFM. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. We have a couple little small things to do. Check the fluids, and we are off to the Bonneville Salt Flats for the maiden voyage of the 39 Ford. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Final thoughts on the truck. Final words of advice. Words of
don't
wisdom.
crash it. Make sure everything's tight before you guys go. And don't forget to take pictures for me because I can't make it. Stoked on the truck. Really pumped to be able to drive that thing throughout the year and go pick up and drop off parts. See you guys there.
All right, Ethan, what you got?
I'm excited. I'm ready to drive this crusty thing. What is it, 1,600 miles? My first time going to Bonneville, so nothing but excitement over here. I'll see you there.